Welcome to Talking About Noise, the podcast about listening to music and writing music and recording music.
And about listening to music.
And about listening to music. I'm your host, Art Moore.
I am your other host, Eric Hansen.
We're just excited to be here. Hey, Eric, how's it going?
Good. How are you, man?
I'm good. I'm excited for today's show.
I am too. I want to welcome everybody to the show. This is really exciting. I'm so excited, and I just can't hide it.
I'm so excited.
Yeah, you just ruined it. So, busy week.
What's going on?
My music video. So, you have been doing the mix.
I've been doing the mix. I'm almost done with it.
I've been hiding.
I'll play it for you after we're done with the podcast. You can take a listen and see.
Cool.
See how you like where else coming.
So, working on that. This next video is going to be much better than the first.
Cool.
So I'm doing a
excited.
YouTube video. My video skills have grown exponentially. My powers.
His video skills have grown.
My powers are so much stronger.
I can feel
I'm
the
doing
final cut in
a
him.
bunch of cooler stuff. It's going to look cool. I'm pretty excited.
Take my hand and join me, and together we will YouTube together.
I'm kind of scared.
As father and son.
I'm scared.
Leave me alone.
I'm in the same room as you. Super excited. And then other than that, just writing some new music. Then I'm going to work on, for my next YouTube video, I am going to do a cover of Billy Idol's White Wedding.
Nice. That'll be fun.
It's an acoustic cover, so I'm
That'll
kind
be
of
good.
excited about that.
I like that song a lot.
So there's this music streaming service, Django, right?
Right.
And
you were telling me about that.
Yeah, I've put my music on there to promote it, and basically you target the music. You say, this sounds like Coldplay. This sounds like The Killers, blah, blah, blah.
If you're interested in this, you would also be interested in what I'm doing.
Yeah.
That kind of thing.
And so it works like Pandora. Listeners will pick The Killers as their station, right? And then my song will sneak in there. So far, I've had about 400 plays.
Ooh.
6 people have become my quote-unquote fans.
Nice.
And I've gotten 3 likes.
Hey, that's not bad.
So I'm shooting like 1 to 2% likability.
Well, you also have to think of like the, the process by which you go and discover what's happening, and then you have to go back and push like on it, right? Like you have to open your phone, you have to open the app, and you have to go, oh yeah, I do like this person. I actually have to hit the button to like them.
Which is true.
That's interesting, I think.
And on those stations, all of that stuff, I never use the like or the dislike button because I'm always afraid that it'll ruin the algorithm and make my radio station horrible.
Yeah.
So I never like or dislike.
So you have to fight that kind of,
but at the same time,
institutional
I was like,
issue there as well.
I'm hitting 1%. I'm awesome. That's the moment where you're like, should I be a musician? I'm pretty bad.
I know. I think you should be a musician.
I think my music's horrible.
I think if you have something to put out there in the world, I think you should be a musician. Honestly.
Unless your name is Kanye.
Oh man.
Anyway.
Kanye.
Okay, so I got some news for you. Should we move on to news?
Let's talk about the news.
Beep boop, beep boop, beep boop, beep boop. Kanye Watch 2015.
What happened with Kanye? Because I missed this. I did not get a chance to take a look at it. What happened?
Okay. First of all, there was a picture floating around. I don't know if you saw it on Imager or on Reddit. And it was Pacquiao versus Mayweather. Who won? None of them won. Beyonce won. Fools! There's a picture of Kanye going, it was Beyonce!
Beyonce won.
I was like, that's perfect.
I'm like,
anyway,
what?
He performed at the Billboard Awards last night. And I thought it was the worst performance I've ever seen in my life.
Oh my goodness.
So, listeners, if you get a chance, go check this out on YouTube. Check out the Billboard Awards Kanye West performance. It was nothing but bright lights and fireworks, and he's dancing and singing behind it, so you don't get to see him. And he was off-key. He was yelling. He was screaming. It was weird. It was bizarre.
What?
So I thought it was one of the worst performances I've ever seen. The crowd was into it, though. So, I don't know what was going on.
Maybe
I don't
it was
get
bad.
it.
Maybe it was mixed bad. Maybe it was just mixed bad.
I kind of feel like it's the Emperor's new clothes, you know? It's like everyone's walking around like, oh yeah, Kanye's awesome. No, he's not wearing any clothes. He's horrible. Yeah, he's not wearing any clothes at all.
Yeah.
But we're going to go along with it. Oh, yeah, Kanye's great. Yay.
Well, this I'm just looking at YouTube here, and the description says Kanye West gets booed and censored during All Day, the 2015 Billboard Music Awards performance. So apparently it wasn't all happy times.
Okay, so it must be they were just showing the people dancing.
Yeah, maybe they were being very, very selective.
They were just like, only go to the front row because everyone else is booing him because this performance is awful. It was bad.
Oh, man.
So anyway, check it out. Voice your comments. Tell us how awful it was because it's so much fun to see how horrible things were. Okay, that was therapeutic. Okay.
Poor Kanye.
What?
Just kidding.
What?
Well, and I looked up, by the way, Beyonce and the Manny Pacquiao Mayweather fight, and apparently she did win because of her outfit. She was wearing a very revealing red dress. Holy smokes! That's all I'm going to say. Why? I don't. Maybe I'm too conservative, too Christian.
She walks into a room. It's like a joke. Beyonce walks into a room. And she wins.
She wins.
She just wins.
That's the end of it, right there.
It was Beyonce.
That's the finish.
All right. So, second piece of news I got. Great interview by Noel Gallagher. He's from Oasis, if you remember.
Yeah.
You remember that band from the 90s?
From the 90s.
Wonderwall?
Oasis, that I didn't discover until the 2000s. Yes, I remember them.
Yeah. Because you're late. It almost feels like you hit puberty late, Art. It's almost like
I didn't hit puberty until I was 32.
And you're like, oh, I blossomed.
And that's when I found video games. No, I'm just kidding. I found video games. I really got into video games when I was 30. That's when I became a teenager.
It's a little bit. Then you're like, have you heard of this game? It's called Super Mario Brothers. Oh my gosh, it is so great.
Yeah, no, it wasn't.
It was so frustrating.
I hated that game. Yeah, I could never get through.
Yeah, well, I've still never beat that or Super Mario 3.
Yeah.
They still are on my list of to-dos, and I will never get there. That and Mike Tyson's Punch-Out. Oh, my gosh.
Oh, I got pretty close. I got to the third league and within 2 of Mike Tyson.
Oh, good. I got to Tyson.
You got all the way to Tyson.
Yeah, and it's just bloody ridiculous.
Oh, yeah.
And then Jimmy Fallon had that thing, Mike Tyson plays against Mike Tyson. Did you see that?
Yeah.
Where he plays the Nintendo game against Mike Tyson?
Yeah,
it was pretty funny.
Was it good?
Yeah. Oh, Mike Tyson was horrible at it.
Of course.
It was awesome.
Well, he's gotten out of shape.
Anyway, out of video game shape. I have a gamer's thumb. It hurts. Okay, so Noel Gallagher had this great interview on Rolling Stone. I highly recommend everyone go read it. Only problem is there are a lot of expletives, so if you don't like expletives, then don't read it.
Gotcha.
I will censor it for you. So, I'm just going to run some of the questions, and I'm going to wait for you to beam. So this one is funny. Question, you have a 15-year-old daughter. Do you share any musical interests? He responds, she's starting to come into the light, which is the case for all teenagers. You kind of feel that way after a while. She'll text me, who were the Stone Roses? And I'll say, okay. Well, the Stone Roses were the second best band to ever come out of Manchester. And he laughs. I wouldn't have expected her to be into anything other than One Direction when she was 12. If she's into One Direction when she's 22, she's getting shunned. I like that. Good call. Okay, question. You've said in the past that you want people to own music instead of stream it. What's your take on Tidal?
Ooh,
I know. I just can't leave.
Interesting.
I just can't leave this alone.
No.
I think it's just to watch your reaction, and it's fun to talk about. Long pause, by the way. Okay, so he's really thought about this before he gives this. I thought that the people on the stage might want to be a little bit aware that they don't look like Jay-Z's minions. Madonna was pretty cool the way she cocked her leg up on the desk and signed the Declaration. I think ultimately that the spiel they came out with was like, do these people think they're the Avengers? They're going to save the world? He says, I was speaking to Chris Martin the day after, Chris Martin from Coldplay.
Okay.
Which is kind of cool to me that, he's still got all these friends. So, Noel, just to go back a little bit, Noel Gallagher released an LP this year called Chasing Yesterday, which is now the highest selling LP in the UK.
Oh, wow.
So,
That's awesome.
He's back, amongst the writing. He's a solo artist now. No more Oasis. So I'm like, good for him, you know? And he's broaching 50 here pretty soon.
Holy smokes.
I know. Okay, anyway. I was speaking to Chris Martin the day after, and I said, are you after a Nobel Peace Prize? Is that what you're after? They were like, we're going to save the music business. And I'm just sitting there thinking, he imitates smoking a joint.
Right.
I'm thinking, you might want to write a decent chorus for a start. Never mind royalties and the power of music. Write a tune. Start with that. This is a total smackdown on Coldplay. I love it. Which I kind of feel the same way. I hear that, what's their latest radio slather hit?
I don't really follow Coldplay very well.
I don't either, but I hear it and I'm just like, oh.
I know a lot of people like them. A lot of people love them.
They're really popular.
I just don't follow them.
I just love them.
I'm just not.
I like that
I'm
he's in a
that
position
interested.
where he could say that. You know, he's like, oh, I know you. And you should probably start with, writing some decent music. Don't worry about saving the music business. Just write good music.
Yeah.
I'm like, boom!
Well, I can understand writing good music. And then the other thing is, if Tidal truly does pay the artists the royalties that they are claiming they're going to pay them, and it turns out to be a good deal, and the artists are really getting paid, then I'm on board. I just know how these things work. And once you get investors and corporate interests in there, they're going to screw it up. It's going to get screwed up.
It's the man. Fight the man,
Fight the man.
Fight the man. Hey, Art, you're the man.
I am. I'm a white man in my 30s. I'm right in that demographic that they always try to hit, sports demographic.
Who's trying to?
I don't know. TV.
No, teenage girls. That's the demographic you want to hit in the music industry.
Yes, in the music industry. I'm just talking about everything else.
Yeah, nobody tries to hit.
I have disposable income.
Males.
I dispose of it. That kind of thing.
Nobody hits
I buy
middle-aged
houses.
males.
Yes, they do.
No, who markets to middle-aged males?
I don't know. Everyone markets to middle-aged males.
No, it's all teenage girls and teenage girls.
All right.
And Frozen. Little girls. Elsa and Anna. Over and over and over again.
Let's move on.
All right, moving on. Welcome to the Talking About Noise songwriting segment. I am here with my co-host and fellow songwriter, Arthur. Arthur, let's talk about songwriting.
I like to be called Arturo.
Arthur. Oh my gosh. Art Vandelay. Say Art Vandelay.
Vandelay Industries.
Vandelay Industries.
And you want to be my latex salesman.
Okay, so today we are going to break down a song. This is one of my favorite things to do. I absolutely love taking songs apart. So today we are going to break down a song by an artist called Robert Delong. And I found him on the Intertubes, mostly by accident. Stumbled upon his website. He has a new EP out, preparing for a new album.
Cool.
EP is called Long Way Down.
Long Way Down.
So the name of the song we are going to analyze is called Long Way Down.
Don't say it. Seriously?
Yeah.
Just kidding. That's good.
It's super tight. It's such a cool song. Okay. Now, before we get into this, we are going to break down the composition of the song. So here's how it goes. Okay. Song starts out with the chorus, no vocals, and stripped down, no synthesizer, no bass.
Okay.
So it starts with just the chorus, and then...
And it's ready to go.
Right. Then we go verse. Into the verse, then we have a pre-chorus. Right after that, jumps into the chorus. And as the chorus ends, we have our hook. It's both a lyrical hook and just a musical hook, okay, combined up in one. And can you guess what the hook is, Art?
Long way down.
Good job. I mean,
not musically, but
it was beautiful singing. But yes, Long Way Down is the lyrical hook,
right,
and is the hook of the song. Comes right after the chorus. But what he does to it is really cool. It's going to be fun.
Nice.
Okay. And then we go, once again, we go verse, pre-chorus, chorus, hook. Bridge, And then after the bridge, it's just chorus, hook, hook. And that's it.
Okay.
So, very first clip, we are going to break down the verse. Sock it to me.
Here we go.
I've been out of my mind, I've been dreaming things and scheming things. I've been smoking the poison.
So the clip was super short, just to give an idea of what's in the verse. There's also some explicit lyrics. So
You're kind of avoiding those a little bit.
Once again, I think there's a clean version of the song. So check, if you don't like swearing, then go check that out. If you do like swearing, then check out the real version.
And we're not mocking those who don't like swearing.
Yeah, we are.
We totally understand.
Nope. Mock.
And
mocking.
We do try to keep our show family friendly.
Yeah, we do not want an explicit tag, so we're not going to say anything or repeat anything. But we'll just infer.
Sometimes
we'll leave blanks so that it just runs in your head anyway.
Sometimes, but we're pretty good, I think.
Like, have you noticed when people do edit songs and there's like either a bleep or it goes backwards, and you're like, oh yeah, I know what they said there.
Yeah.
It runs through your head anyway.
You're making me say it.
Yeah. Okay. What I like about the first verse, drums are super loud, super tight. Bass drum, super loud.
Yeah, I love it.
Really punches you in the gut. If you get a chance, check. I would like to break down the vocals, not the vocals, the lyrics. Lyrics are actually pretty cool. But it's basically like, I've been sitting around doing nothing while you're trying to save the world from nothing. That's so awesome. I love it. And the vocal line is pretty catchy. So verse is really cool. Then we dive right in. So notice in the verse, really powerful bass, really strong drums, and then we dive right into the pre-chorus. Go for it.
Okay, here is the pre-chorus.
The end, things will never go our way in the end, things will never go.
So what I love about the pre-chorus is it gives you an incredible dynamic contrast between the verse and then the chorus, because he takes out all of the drums and all of the bass, right? And it's all just this reverby kind of synth stuff with him singing high vocals up top.
Yeah, we were just talking about this a few weeks ago, breaking things down, taking things out to make the build with everything in it even better.
Yeah, and you can tell, then there's this build up to a drop for the chorus. Boom!
Yep.
Right? And it gives it some punch.
When I finished up an album a little while ago for Jeremy Johnson, a new artist, we did that. We dropped all the instruments out except for the drums and the vocals, and it was huge. And when everything came back in, he was just like, that's awesome.
Yeah,
that's so amazing.
It's a great tip. Like, for pre-choruses, skimp them. Like, get rid of as much as you can.
Get it small so it can come back big.
Yeah, because you want to make the chorus as big as you can. Okay. That leads us to the chorus, obviously. And let's go for it.
Here's the chorus.
The bottom's all I found. We can't get higher than we get on the way.
So just the chorus is actually very, very short before you get into the hook part of the chorus. And I like it, but I also like the synths behind it. I really like the vocals, great deep synth sounds, great snare sounds. So every other beat, the snare is a different sound.
So interesting to do that.
Yeah. So on one beat, you have the snare is more shallow, doesn't have as much reverb. On the next, there's like a clap associated with the snare as well, and it has a lot more reverb.
Wow.
Really cool.
Yeah,
right?
that is very cool.
To mix that snare sound up. Really pops, at least in my ear, that's one of the first things I noticed was like, listen to how he changes that up and pops that snare out.
Very cool.
And that leads us to the hook. This is what makes the song the most catchy thing. And pay attention really close to what he does to the lyrical hook itself.
All right.
On the Long Way Down,
yeah,
is the lyrical hook, but he's got this cool Daft Punk kind of effect on the vocal itself, right?
Yeah,
it's really cool.
Yeah, I really like it a lot.
So I actually want to toy with that and maybe try and like replicate that because that's a fun little thing that he does with that.
I was thinking the same thing. Like, I would like to take this song and break it down and recreate it and learn how he does things by redoing them.
Yeah, I'd love to do
cool way.
that. And I love the whole idea of, okay, you got a pretty cool lyrical hook already. Let's make it even weirder.
Yeah, crazier.
I don't think it's too over the top, and I think it's catchy enough that you listen to it and you're like, hey, that's pretty sweet.
Nice.
I like that. So anyway, that's the breakdown of the song. Fairly straightforward. The songwriting itself is fairly standard. This is a standard format. Chorus, verse, pre-chorus, chorus, verse, pre-chorus, verse, pre-chorus, chorus, verse, pre-chorus, chorus, right?
Sweet.
Yeah, and then do the chorus 2 times at the very end. That's very standard.
Sounds awesome.
Other than that, that's the breakdown of the song. So I highly recommend go pick up the EP. Go support this artist. He's pretty cool.
Yeah, and start. I'm going to get this song, get the whole EP, but I'm going to actually go and recreate this song and learn all the techniques he's using there and try to mimic it as much as I can. I think it's going to be fun.
Good for you.
Yeah.
Good luck with it.
I'm not going to resell it.
How funny. You
I'm not going to claim it as my own.
You're like, this is Art DeLong in his debut album.
Long way around.
You totally rip it off. And then they come back to the podcast and like, where did you get the idea to rip this song up? Oh,
okay. I see how that.
okay. Yeah, we're shutting this podcast down.
Yeah, we're shutting everything down in your life, actually.
That's pretty much how it would go.
All right. Good job, Eric. That was great. Today I had a huge recording segment planned in my head, but it wasn't really coming together. And then I just realized we never actually talk about chords, like the building blocks of music and about writing and stuff. I'm going to move my mic here. I have my piano in the studio with us right now, and we've never done this. So this might be a little weird. It might not work. I don't know. I'll try to edit it so it sounds good, but let's see how this sounds real quick. Okay, and in there was an example of what we're going to talk about today. We're talking about the Neapolitan Chord, yo.
Oh, is that really a name?
It's a real name. It's like Neapolitan ice cream. It's everything you don't want in a chord, but somehow it all works together.
So wait. Yeah, I was going to say that's an ice cream. I don't eat ice cream.
You don't eat ice cream.
So
yeah, you're dairy intolerant, right?
No.
Racist.
Yes, I don't like ice cream, and I'm a racist.
If you're following along at home, I'm playing in the key of C. Here's the C chord, F, G. That's your standard 1, 4, 5. And the Neapolitan chord is going to be what we call the flat second major chord. So this is what it sounds like. This is C and then D flat major. Okay, and if you're playing C minor, and it can act as a prep for 5. So if you are on, let's say you're on C major, you go to the D flat major, which is our Neapolitan chord. Then you can go to your 5, and then resolve back to 1.
Huh.
So it's kind of an interesting thing, used a lot in classical music, rarely used in pop music, but I think it's really interesting. And I have some examples here. I'll play in a little bit of how it can be used. But I think just getting the sound in your head, how it kind of comes together. Here we go again. C. Now I'm going to go to F. Now I'm going to go to the Neapolitan, the D flat major. Then I'm going to go to the G and resolve back to the C.
Whoa.
Yeah.
That's deep.
Pretty cool stuff, huh?
D flat major?
D flat major. So it's a half step up from your tonic or your root chord, which in this case is C. That's number 1. And it can act as a prep to 5.
I love that they call it the tonic. Like someone that was totally drunk when they came up with music theory. This is the tonic.
Let's call it a lager. It'll be the lager.
Like,
No, that's too crazy. Just make it a tonic.
The chronic. Anyway,
so the interesting thing is the corollary to that is using the minor second chord. So here's the minor second chord. This is going to be regular D minor, which acts as a prep to the 5 chord. I'm playing a 5/7 there, and then we finish with C again. So that's the easy way to do it. Use the D minor chord instead of the D flat major chord. And you can kind of switch in between those two. So if you're playing along here, go to F. I'm going to play the minor 2. Go to the G. Resolve to C. I'm going to go to the F now. Now I'm going to use the Neapolitan.
Yeah, you could have some fun with that.
You could do some really interesting things with that. So go look up Neapolitan online and stuff like that. I've got some examples I want to play for you real quick. Let's see here. One of them is, again, we try to keep our show pretty clean, but one of them is a Lady Gaga show, Lady Gaga song, which is always hard to keep, as clean as possible.
It is?
I don't know. She's this, it's not too bad. It's not too explicit. All right. The first one is the Beatles. Let's go Beatles. Okay. Do you know the song, Do You Want to Know Secret?
I do, actually.
So the
I wanted to know the secret.
Yeah, this is the song. That's the secret. Anyways, at the beginning of this song, in the third measure, you will hear a Neapolitan. So here's what that sounds like.
You'll never know how much I really love you. You'll never know how much I really care. Listen.
So that's how that comes out.
They were probably more willing to experiment with stuff like that. Lady Gaga does one?
Lady Gaga have Michael Jackson and Radiohead.
So I can see that coming from Radiohead.
Yeah, definitely.
They would totally. They're experimental type.
Well, here's the Lady Gaga one. She's going to say the words "new position," and that's where it happens. So just listen for that. Here's what that sounds like.
She's talking about a political stance. Everybody.
Yeah. Okay. Mm-hmm. Oh, really? I don't really know this song very well. So, okay.
New political stance.
The video states, makes it look otherwise.
No. New political stance.
Here we go.
Greetings, Himeros, god of sexual desire, son of Aphrodite. Lay back and feast as this audio guides you through new and exciting positions.
So you can hear that kind of raise up, and I forget what key this is in. I think it's in G minor, G flat minor. Or maybe it's in D flat. And so then they go to that major chord right after it, the half step above it to kind of get that lift feel, and then it comes back. Kind of a cool.
Yeah, I was having a hard time getting past how stupid that speaking part was.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
That was really lame.
All right, here's Michael Jackson in the song Fall Again. So you can hear there the line that comes down, the falling, right, that section right there. There's the Neapolitan. Yeah, so great thing. And then with Radiohead, I just have the intro here. So, and there's no lyrics behind it, but they do utilize it in the second chord. They go right to it. So here's Radiohead in their song Pyramid.
That is so Radiohead.
Yeah, it's a Radiohead. You can hear right there, they have the G flat minor chord. They go straight to the G major. They go A major. And they got some stuff after that I didn't take the time to figure out. But you have G flat, G major, A. just a way to use kind of
I
a
like
new
it.
chord and get kind of a new sound into what you're doing.
That's cool.
So,
I might experiment.
booyah. And you're just hearing my dog bark upstairs. So just deal with that because that's happening.
We just put our sunglasses on. Deal with it.
Just deal with it. Deal with it. So the idea here is like get out there and experiment with new chords, get new sounds into what you're doing, and don't be afraid to make up stuff because music theory really is the study of music after it has already been written, after it's already happened. Does that make sense? So like Bach didn't really, I mean, he knew rules that he had kind of like learned and worked on himself, but he was breaking out of those rules all the time. And
Who's Buck?
Bach, like Johann Sebastian Bach.
Bach.
Yes,
Bach.
yes, you German speaker, you.
Okay. You totally threw me there.
Bach.
I'm like, who's
and
Buck?
Bach? You didn't. Yeah, if
Who's
I said
Bach?
Bach, you don't get that. Okay. Anyway, so we didn't really learn all that stuff until after he was done, and then we got then we started making up the rules.
Well, thank you everyone for listening to the podcast. That was fun. We got picks of the week. Go out and support these artists because they're awesome.
Yeah.
And because if I say they're awesome, then by default they're awesome.
Yeah. Definitely.
So, The Offspring, one of my favorite bands, they have a new album. And their new song, Coming For You, is so awesome. It is amazing.
Go and get our kicks, drop it out and getting in the mix now. In the back room, nothing to do. We're not bored, we're just sick of you, yeah. Yeah, sick of you.
It is one of those, like, you listen to it and you're like, hey, this is Offspring. Whoa, this is amazing. How did they get so awesome? So I already
Nice.
liked them. I just like them even more now.
Cool. That's awesome. Okay, my pick of the week is the band The Old Ceremony, and they have a new record out, new stream for The Old Ceremony, and we'll put a clip right here of them. Bam.
Mission by your father, like a scarecrow pointing a straw arm at the sky. Got to get away from all this belonging. You never felt quite at home anyway.
Awesome.
All right. Well, thanks for listening to the show. We will see you guys next week. Follow us on Twitter. I've changed my Twitter handle. I am at Artmore Studios now.
Artmore Studios, yeah.
So, yeah. And Eric is at I Am The Swoop. And we'll see you guys next week.